The Toyota Land Cruiser 200 series. For many it's the ultimate Land Cruiser. Powered by Toyota's legendary 4.5-liter twin-turbo V8 diesel. Reliable, capable, built to go anywhere. But this one has a problem. First of all, injectors are a problem on these things. It doesn't pull good. We have black smoke. No warning lights. No obvious failure. Just something that doesn't feel right. Let's find out why. I think that's absolutely crazy. Yeah, it is. So guys, another day, another problem. But more about it in a minute. So, here we are again, and this time with a 200 series Land Cruiser, and also it looks really beautiful. Should we do a little car tour?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you guess? What engine is in it?
Yeah, 4.5.
It's the 4.5 B-turbo.
That thing's beautiful.
Yeah, that thing is beautiful. It is a really nice camper setup, like really nice. I mean, also, it is not only usable, but the appearance itself is like really, really cool. Because most campers do have a purpose, but they're not beautiful. This one is beautiful. A little bit about the car. It's a 2009, so an early one, without DPF and all the, let's say, not so needed environment stuff. 4.5 B-turbo, as I said. The same engine as in the 70 series with just one turbo. The car was cut, got a nice camper shell with a pop-up roof. I mean, look at this, how much space we have here. It is not like most campers where you are like pressed into it and you sleep with your head on the front seat and the feet are touching the lift tailgate. Yeah. This one has space. It has actually everything you need for long traveling, nice traveling, comfort. I mean, myself and also my brother, we are 60 series guys, so comfort.
Yeah, not needed.
Our thing. Nice riding suspension, also not. This one has a nice riding suspension. It has a PP51. When we look in here, I mean, we don't see much. You have this nice camper, and then you have it in my shop, and I'm known to be a mechanic, so there is probably a problem. There is one. This car should have about 285 horses. I mean, depends on the market and so on, how the real number is. But let's say 285-ish, and it drives like 200-ish. Like a 100 series, I would say.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much like a 100 series. It should move a lot better. I know it is heavy, but still it should move better. It doesn't. And also, the fuel consumption is not the best. Let's pop the hood and look a little bit on the not so primitive Toyota side. As we know, all the older stuff, 80s, 100s, with the one HD series engines, they are really primitive. That thing isn't that primitive anymore. We missed the V8 cover, the plastic cover. I already removed it, because afterwards I will probably search for the problem. We see all deposits on the intercooler, but let's go a little bit into the engine and what are the problems on these engines. The 4.5 is actually a pretty powerful engine. But yeah, they are known to explode, or some exploded. First of all, injectors are a problem on these things. Sad, but it is. And they are not cheap or easy to access. So first of all, injectors. Toyota says probably every 150,000 to replace them. The thing about these cars is I don't have to guess if they are done or not, because with the tester I can go into the ACU and look for the injector values, and then I actually know which injector is bad. I mean, you always change all 8. I mean, you can probably change one, but yeah, I wouldn't do that or recommend it. Just change all 8. Lots of money, but hey, that's how it is if you drive something like this. Turbochargers, there was the nice word B-turbo. B-turbo is nice as long as it works. Why do the turbochargers die on these cars? First of all, we have a problem known as dusting. So the air filter box on the 200 series Land Cruisers, let's open it and then you will see it. Let's say they are a bit problematic in terms of, first of all size, and second of all, there we open it, they are flimsy. Really flimsy. It's really cheap plastic. It's actually not the Toyota way, because if you look like on an airbox on a 100 series Land Cruiser, way better quality. And if we go back to the 80 series or even 60s, metal. That's the way to go. And what is dusting? So we have two turbos, one on the left bank, one on the right bank. The left bank turbo does get the air first and then the second bank. Why I know that? Because here we have the airbox, here we have a charger, there we have a charger. The way down there is way shorter than down there. And also it's no problem. And and what does the dusting mean? The dusting means we have an episode online if you want to know what happens to a turbocharger if it does suck some dust or sand. They're done afterwards. But it is actually the same on these turbochargers. They are not like old school turbochargers like on the 80. It's 40G ladder. 40G turbocharger is a variable. Is a variable turbo with a variable turbo geometry. So you have boost also, let's say on the bottom end of your RPM range. They adjust and not stay static like a CT26 on a 80. The problem with them is they have actuators, electronic parts, and you guess it,
A lot of things can go wrong.
a lot of things can go wrong. And they are also, you guess it also, not cheap.
Yeah.
That's problems. Then we have, this one doesn't have, as I said, the environment stuff on it, but the later ones do have it. The problem with that is turbo back pressure. At some point, especially if you make a tune on it, you more or less grill the turbochargers with just back pressure, exhaust heat. At some point they just give up.
So can you simply decut it, or is there any issue with that?
The early ones are pretty easy to decut. Shouldn't be any problem with the ACU from experience, but depends really on when it was built. That one is a really early one. There is actually, or no problem, there is none. The next thing is EGR. All cars, even the 100 series Land Cruisers had already EGRs. That one has a EGR too, and it does feed lots of exhaust gases back into the engine. EGR is also a problem, and there is the word for it, carbon buildup. What do I mean with carbon buildup? So you feed back hot exhaust gases into the intake, and also you have there, second thing, you have also the PVC, so oil, dust, oil spray. And when both of these things do mix, hot exhaust gases and oil, you make tar. At some point the buildup in these things is so extreme that it is nearly clogged actually. You miss lots of horses. It does run not so good. At some point it could be a really big problem. The thing is on actually the 200 series Land Cruisers, I'm a big fan of the gases. Who would guess that? They are pretty easy. The thing on the all modern diesel, it's not only a Toyota thing. It doesn't matter if it is a Toyota engine, a Duramax, a Cummins, does not matter. They all have problems and they all need plenty of service, right? On a 61 Land Cruiser with the old 12 HD engine, you could drive 40,000 without a oil change. Not good for the engine, but survived it. Doesn't matter, You could also crank the boost up, do whatever you want, right? No damage done. These things,
They're pretty sensitive.
they are sensitive. Damage is easy done on it. Even a 61 or 80. The parts are expensive, right? Because it's Toyota. But these things, if that thing is done, that mighty 4.5, what stuck's in there, and you buy all the stuff new, you can buy a 61 for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm a fan of these cars. I'm also not like really negative about the 4.5. The 4.5, as I said, just do the service, do everything what is recommended, and he will drive well. I can't say that officially, but I would say get rid of all the
environment and such stuff.
because the engine will last much longer. And besides that, they rust.
Who would have guessed?
I would have guessed that. Every Toyota rust. The rear axle is pretty good. It's pretty big. The front, the independent front suspension. Yeah, I think the problem started with the 100 series Land Cruiser, right? It's not that problematic as on the 100 series Land Cruiser, and also the steering rack isn't that problematic, but still problem. It is still an independent front suspension. Yeah, electronic gremlins sometimes on this car, cars, but not as much as the 100 series, but also the cars are not as old. So we will see in 10 years how good they really are. Also, they are really expensive, even used, with lots of kilometers on it. So everyone has to make the decision. New Land Cruiser, macho grande confort, drives good, yeah, but does cost money to buy it, and also does cost lots of money to maintain it, or go with something older, 100 or 80. I mean, they are already...
I mean, yeah, the 80, I don't know why.
80 is also expensive by now. Yeah. So the only thing that stays is the 100 series, at least in Europe, if some Australians watch that.
So the funny thing is,
what?
So if you would compare it price-wise to an 80, it's ridiculous how much the 80 actually costs now.
It does.
Am I right?
Yeah. So the 80, you can probably buy in Europe by now a really good 80 for that money, or a 200, and the 100 series is about, yeah, 1/3 cheaper, but still expensive. I mean, for a used 100 series, you still get a new Volkswagen Golf. Oh yeah, because I talked about the intercooler. The intercooler cracks at some point. Could crack. Doesn't have to happen. Could happen. If you have like oil deposits on it, and you can make a boost pressure test, and you hear. So we don't know actually the problem on this car, but first of all, it doesn't pull good. We have black smoke. What does mean it does overfuel or has not enough air. One of these things. Also, I was already with the tester in it to look for fault codes like the injector values and how much the pump is putting into the injectors, stuff like that. Also MAF, everything fine. Everything in tolerances. So I already can tell it is probably something mechanical. What I mean with mechanical, I don't mean the valve train or anything. Could be carbon buildup, like really hardcore carbon buildup. An intercooler hose, the intercooler itself, turbocharger.
Oh, that will be an expensive one.
Turbocharger also a possibility, but it has to be something in that direction. Yeah, I'm already thrilled that the injectors are good. Still, it's not easy to work on these things, because on a 80 or a 100 I can remove the turbocharger instantly. Here, as you see, we don't even see the turbo. Not even a bit of it, because the turbo is down there and down there. Don't buy a 200 series just because you want one. I mean, this one is well maintained. We don't have to talk about that, but they still get old and they are not cheap to maintain. That's just how it is. But they are still great cars. But they are modern cars. No modern cars work like old 61 or 80. So, and if you like our content, a little walk and talk about Land Cruisers, and sometimes we also repair things, yeah, leave a like and subscribe. And have a nice day, and we see us the next time. If across your mind, say a prayer, I found my way.